Okay, I want you to think about something for a second. What if I told you that you're not actually experiencing this moment in real time, that there's a hidden hardwired delay happening inside your brain right now? So let's just ask the question directly. Right now, as you're listening to my voice, are you experiencing it live? Is what you're seeing and hearing perfectly in sync with the present moment? Now, your gut instinct is probably to say, yeah, of course. It feels instantaneous, right? But what's so wild is that a huge amount of neuroscience tells us the real answer is a hard no. Not even close. And the reason why pretty much boils down to this one number, roughly 80 milliseconds. That is the tiny, almost imperceptible gap between something happening out there in the world and your conscious brain actually getting the memo. And here's why that matters. It's not just a bit of trivia. It means your entire conscious experience, everything you see, hear, feel, all of it, isn't the present. It means that you, right now, are literally living in the very recent past. So let's really dig into what that means. We're going to call this first part the 80 millisecond past, because understanding this is the key to unraveling the whole illusion of now. This whole phenomenon has a name. It's called reality lag. What feels completely instantaneous, like seeing a light switch on, is actually a delayed reconstruction. Your brain is basically showing you a high-definition replay of an event that has already happened. Okay, so why does this lag even exist? Is our brain just slow? Well, no, not at all. The thing is, perception is an incredibly complex process. Let's take a look at what we're calling the perception pipeline to see how all that time adds up. So here's why that delay happens. It's not one step, it's a whole journey. First, your body has to physically sense the world. Light hits your retina, sound waves hit your ear. Then it has to convert all that raw data into a language the brain understands, into neural signals. After that, it has to process those signals through all these different stages, then combine all the separate bits, like color and shape and motion. And only after all of that do you finally perceive it as one single coherent picture. Every single one of those steps takes time. And you can see the result of that pipeline right here. An event happens at time 0, but look, it can take anywhere from 70 to 100 milliseconds before it actually breaks through into your conscious awareness. Your brain is in a constant state of playing catch-up with reality. But wait, if we're always lagging behind, how do we do anything? How can you catch a ball, or drive a car, or even hold a normal conversation? Well, that brings us to the brain's absolutely genius solution. It becomes a predictor. See, your brain knows about this delay, so it doesn't show you a series of choppy, delayed snapshots of the world. Instead, it uses this incredible process called temporal integration. It basically collects all the sensory data from the last fraction of a second and masterfully edits it all together into a smooth, seamless movie of reality. Catching a ball is the perfect way to understand this. If your brain were purely reactive, it would see where the ball was 80 milliseconds ago. It would swing based on that old information, and you'd miss the ball every single time. But that's not what happens, is it? Your amazing predictive brain calculates the ball's trajectory and swings to where it will be. You're intercepting its future, not reacting to its past. That's how you make the catch. And you see this predictive power absolutely everywhere once you start looking for it. It's how your brain takes the instant flash of lightning and lines it up perfectly with the sound of thunder that arrives seconds later, so they feel like part of the same event. It's how you know the next note in a song you love, or swing a bat at a fastball. It's a non-stop, forward-looking prediction machine. So this is where things start to get really weird, because this biological fact starts to creep into some really deep philosophical questions. If we're always living in the past and just acting on predictions, what does that mean for our sense of control, for our free will? This is really the core of it, isn't it? If your consciousness is always trailing behind what's physically happening, are your choices and actions just sophisticated reactions to a reality that's already come and gone? Are we always just one step behind? And some neuroscientists push this idea even further. They argue that by the time you feel like you're making a decision to do something, to pick up a cup, to take a step, your brain has already put the wheels in motion. The feeling of making a choice might just be a story we tell ourselves after the fact to explain what our brain was already doing. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds kind of like a flaw, right? A bug in our system. But the final takeaway here is that it's the exact opposite. This isn't a flaw, it's a feature, and a brilliant one at that. This is the incredible trade-off your brain makes for you every second of every day. It gives up true, real-time perception, and in exchange, it gives us something so much more valuable, a version of reality that is stable, coherent, and makes sense. It builds a world for us that feels predictable and one we can actually navigate. And that really leaves us with this final, powerful idea. The now that you experience isn't raw footage of the present. It's a carefully constructed, beautifully edited masterpiece created from data that's already in the past. So the next time you look around at the world, just remember, what you're seeing isn't happening right now. It's already history.